Welcome to another installment of How to Do Everything. I am your host, Tommy Dasilo, and today on the show, LUKA MULLER and Alex Ward are going to teach me how to get abducted overseas. Couple of quick things to plug. If you are in Queensland, I am up there this very weekend, Saturday, October the 18th, doing a work-in-progress show with Josh Earl. It is us doing a split bill of new material each, and then Sunday we're doing the same thing in Cairns. So that is this weekend if you're listening to this hot off the presses. I'll put a ticket link in the episode description, but would love to see you there if you are in those parts of the world. Me and Josh figuring out some new material. Should be a lot of fun. Also, you can get onto patreon.com/howtodoeverything to support this show and get bonus episodes every week. There's one going up this Friday, a little extra with Alex Ward and LUKA MULLER. So if you enjoy this episode and you want to hear more with these two great guests, then that is the place to go. LUKA and Wardy. LUKA, you will know as the host of Triple J Breakfast with Conchetta, and Wardy you will have seen on Have You Been Paying Attention and the Melbourne International Comedy Festival Gala. Great to get these guys on together. Super fun episode, so without further ado, let's get into it. This is How to Do Everything with LUKA MULLER and Alex Ward. I was in Newcastle over the weekend doing a gig, and you guys would have done this plenty of times. You go to any like anytime you're outside one of the main cities and you're doing a gig, it just feels like the people that you meet, everyone's so tapped into like what the local council are doing.
Oh yeah.
What the Lord Mayor did in the last week. Like I turned up to the gig and I got this like 20-minute blast from the organisers about local politics that had nothing to do with the show at all. And I'm like,
Newi's not even that small. That's great. That must
know.
be the biggest of the small towns to still know what the mayor's doing.
Totally. Yeah, totally. And like, you go to, not that, I mean, this is a main city, but you go to Adelaide. Every time I've gotten a cab from the airport in Adelaide, I feel like I just get a complete rundown of just everything that's been going on in the last 8 months.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't tell you I don't even know the name of the Premier now that it's not Andrews and we're out of COVID.
I often don't even know the name of the council I live in. I have to go and look at the front of my bins to be like, what is it again? Okay.
Where am I registered, and also what is that? I have no fucking clue.
I'm looking at the top of the parking fine to even know what website I'm meant to fucking go to.
But the people who run the gig thinking that that's like them doing the sort of like tourism sort of like reaching out as part of like the local bureau to kind of like get you up to speed with what's been going on in the elections, and like, this guy came in and he got all this money to do this, and I'm just standing there like, so are you like ordering a pizza for the green room, or like what's happening for dinner here? Is it going to be too late to eat
That's so funny. I love the
like,
idea you picked up in the Uber and you turned around and he's like, all right, so town hall, or should I just run you through it? What's happening? Take me straight there. I'll talk to them.
Yeah, there's always some fucking drama. There's always some bullshit local town drama.
As though it's any info you'd want for the gig as well. Like, I'm not tarring you with this brush, Tommy. You're not the type of comedian that would ask for like the shit suburb or the shit nightclub to make fun of. But if the comedians want some piece of local info, it's probably that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Or what's the town half an hour away that people shit on? It's not like, what are the councilmen saying about
Kennedy?
the fountains or whatever?
You know that like, sometimes when you check in, if the place is nice enough, there will be like a list of like, here's the local time. Like they assume you're coming in from overseas if it's like a big enough hotel.
Hey, plenty of times when the place isn't nice, they also do that list.
Right. It would be great if, they assume, we get a lot of comedians come through here. So when you check in, here's a printed out piece of paper that's got the local shithole. I want to become known for my famous Lord Mayor material. Any town that I'm in, that everyone knows when they book me, you got to have the name. That's the first thing he's going to ask.
I'm also going to need a tally on how many comedians have used it in the last week. Because there's going to be a second tier of references where it's like, well, no one's used this one for a while, but we've had a lot of hits on this one.
If this is a savvy crowd,
it's not going to hit so hard.
Heard this guy cop it before.
Yeah.
I was staying in a place in Sydney over the weekend that was like quite an older... So it was a lot of people there, I assume, for the NRL Grand Final. And every time I got in the lift, I would be in there with between like 2 and 3 kind of older people. and then we would get to the ground floor and the door would open and there would be another group of older people, and the people that I was in the lift with would go, here he is. And this happened like 5 or 6 times, to the point where I was like, does literally every person in this hotel know each other? Is this just like one big group? Were there like 2 people in the group that had to drop out because they were like, there's like one room booked that we can't get, and that's where I'm staying? But when I checked in, it had a piece of paper that was like, now remember, daylight savings is kicking in on Sunday morning.
Great.
So you're going to need to put the clocks forward. And I was like, this really speaks to the clientele of this hotel.
Yeah,
because
that's perfect.
I don't have any technology. I don't have any form of time, any device on me that has the time on it.
How did you book this hotel? Must have been by calling them up or sending them a letter. This is not a hotel that has a website or anything. This
was done online, but everything about it was like, got in and it's like, if you want the internet, you've got to go down to the front counter and talk to them and get the password written out for you on a little sheet of paper.
They never assume you're just going to want it.
Yeah, exactly.
They never assume. It's like everyone must walk down and ask. Every single person has asked for it, and they must just go, the system works. No, they come down, they get it.
I reckon the clientele in this place, I reckon I got pretty good speeds because I reckon the only person on it. I reckon every person's, that's probably part of the appeal of like, it's just nice to go and have like an old TV that doesn't have all the fucking apps on it when you turn it on. It's just nice to have a break from being so connected. I'm in another city. I don't have my nephew to call up and get him to come and like log into the Netflix for me.
It must be like just 6 months past that DVD collection in the in the foyer.
Oh yeah,
the lobby.
God, I love a bit of that.
You just missed out on Mouse Hunt on DVD.
Exactly.
I had the opposite.
And Beethoven 3.
And one that you get that you're really pumped to finally watch, and then you get it up to the room and you open it up. It's like, the box is empty. Someone's just flogged the disc and no one's noticed it yet.
Someone put Atmosphere, the DVD board game in here. This is bullshit. I don't even have the board. Man, I was in Cairns last week and I had the opposite. The internet was too popular. When I checked in, they gave me the Wi-Fi password and then told me, but look, we're pretty busy at the moment, so the internet's been fucking shit.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Surely there's just like, if you have like most houses I know have unlimited.
Yeah.
Why can't a hotel just get unlimited?
I know. It was actually, I had to pay for it in this one, which I have not seen. I've not seen in a while. $5 a day. And it's like, at that point, just absorb that into the price.
I also just realised Cairns would be busy. The heat up there, no one's going outside. That's why everyone would be just in, right?
Yeah,
in on the lappy.
With Google's best treatment for sunburn.
Just Googling every fish they saw at the reef.
Yeah. Crocodiles at Cairns Beach, October.
When can I swim in? I bet it's like the most hit today is, when can you swim in Cairns?
Yeah. Downloading the Fan app on the App Store just to get yourself a bit of psychosomatic, like, I look at the blades and it really cools me down.
Those are the biggest apps. Cairns is the Fan app, and then Hobart is the Fireplace app.
Yeah.
The biggest apps.
I was genuinely quite disappointed that I had gotten this sheet of paper that told me about daylight savings, because I think that had I not seen that, I wouldn't have known. Like, I didn't know it was coming up. That caught me by surprise. Mm-hmm. And, you wake up and everything that you own has just automatically converted. Yeah. And it would have been a nice thing to sort of see how far in I could have gotten before I clocked like, oh, wait, did daylight like, I reckon it might have only been last night when I was like walking home for the gym being like, man, it's still really light.
Yeah,
what's going on here?
The closest thing to feeling like a spell has been put on you.
Yes.
Like, you don't ever get those feelings where you're all of a sudden in the wrong place. I mean, occasionally you just like might get off at the wrong train station early. Yeah. And you're like, whoa, where am I? Like, it's like those things happen so rarely. It's such a treat.
Back in the day, it was like the big day out was coming up. You'd hear it mentioned on the radio huge. Every 5 minutes, like, don't forget, put your clocks forward.
I feel like you got a letter about it. It was like front page of the newspaper for the whole week.
Everyone's talking about it. Yeah. If you had plans with people, they're like, now don't forget, the clocks are changing, so don't you be turning up an hour late. Yeah. There was such mania around it. And so to check in and be like, oh shit, that's tomorrow. Yeah. I had no idea.
There were massive hacks too. You can go to work late. People were obsessed with that. Yeah. You could just go late and blame the clocks.
I had this friend who was like the like most like chaotic, disorganized person who just lives their life in a way where it like becomes everyone else's drama. And we were at a dinner once and she came like an hour and 45 minutes late, and she's like, oh, sorry, I'm just still daylight savings in my head. And we're like, it's February. Like, it's been months.
Like right in the middle of the changes.
If like exactly an hour, then it's like if exactly an hour the day of, okay. But it's like, no, but even with it, you're still late enough that it's like, even with that, you're still incredibly late. Like, it's got to be something else. I'm sorry. You've had all this time to think of it. You've had all this time to cook up the excuse.
February 28 day month, it threw me. I don't know what to do.
Sorry. I thought it was March already. I don't really know.
I'm still coming from New Year's. I don't know what year it is still.
Yeah, she must have fun with the leap year. Just the whole year is a mess. Sorry, I forgot it was a leap year.
Yeah, then you can be a day late anytime from February 29 onwards and be like, oh, sorry, the fucking leap year threw me off. I don't know what to do.
Well, Luka, thank you both for being here, but Luka especially.
Thank me and not Alex.
3 hours of broadcasting and then coming in to do a podcast. That's what everyone wants to do.
I got to keep talking. I'm going straight to another podcast after this. I can't get enough. Then I'm doing a live stream. I'm addicted to broadcasting.
I didn't talk at all this morning just to prep for this.
Yeah, that's good.
I haven't spoken a word.
You're on vocal rest.
You got polyps.
Yeah, it's the daylight savings too. It's been messing. I spoke that extra hour last year. Exhausted.
Have you seen like pictures of like when people are doing shows on Broadway and stuff and they're like hanging out with people backstage and they'll have the little badge that's like, I'm on vocal rest, and it's like it's obviously it's an important thing. Keep the instrument, keep it on lock, keep it in good state. Mm-hmm. But there's just, God, I would hate having to wear that badge.
Absolutely.
It would just feel like so, la-di-da. It's so theatre kid.
I couldn't stick to it anyway. I've been told to vocal rest before. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I just can't see people, because if I'm sitting there and I'm just not talking, I'd rather not be here because it feels bad. You feel like you're not a helpful person in this situation. You're not contributing.
Even if I wasn't interacting with people, I'm still talking at the dog non-stop, walking around the house.
Oh yeah.
Commentating everything he's doing.
Being on vocal rest and having to police your own road rage would be a nightmare. Like,
that's great. Someone cuts you off, you swerve in front of them, get out, and you've got the iPad up and you're writing, now listen mate, I'm on vocal rest. Count your lucky stars, otherwise you would be...
Are you a bloody moron? I just thought the same thing. What jug are you going, you fucking idiot?
Bob, the sticker on the back. I'm on vocal rest right now, but I'd love to fucking let you have it, you piece of shit.
You've got the PowerPoint presentation ready to go when you hop out of the car, like slide of text. Where'd you get your license, mate? One of these. Next slide image, a Wheaties box. I fucking showed him. I asked someone recently to do this, and it's someone who I've done pods with before. They're a bit of they're high up in the media landscape, I'll say. And they're very like, maybe you get them in a good spell where they feel like doing stuff, and maybe sometimes you don't. And they were like, hey, sounds great, but I've been doing a bit at the moment and I'm just sick of my own voice for now. And I was just like, anytime you remember that you can say no to things, I think as stand-ups you just always have that thing in the back of your head that you're like begging for every opportunity when you start out. And the idea of someone asking me to do something and me going, no thanks, is just, I reckon I've done it maybe once in my life and immediately felt awful about it.
Yeah.
Like, where do I get off?
Really?
Who am I?
I do it a little bit.
You're getting better at going.
I'm getting better at it.
Once you get a taste for it, you fucking can't stop.
And it's like you get over the guilt and it becomes sweet relief.
But just this person saying I'm sick of my own voice is
so
like
good.
Not even cooking up I'm a bit busy or I'm away. Like not even cooking up some bullshit. Just a flat out
just
I don't want
honest,
to.
Being straight up.
Yeah.
I remember when I ran.
Assume they're being honest.
Well,
they're sick of your voice.
I actually love the sound of my own voice.
When I ran Catfish in the Catfish golden years, as everybody calls it, Tommy.
Yeah, thank you.
Post Dassolo.
Yep.
I remember asking Cameron James if he could host the gig, and hosting a gig and stand up, like it's fine, but especially when you do it a lot, it becomes very annoying, and it's probably like it's a lot less fun than just doing a spot or whatever.
It's a good thing to get good at when you're kind of new, because it's like the first, if you don't have a profile, it's like the first kind of thing on the bill where you can like get some good money for.
Totally.
So you build up the skills at that, but then at a certain point you're like, this is the worst job on the bill.
And it makes you so much better in your own solo shows.
Yeah,
because
totally.
like if someone says something, you're like used to the lack of pressure being like,
Yeah.
And this was at a time that I was being asked to host heaps and just couldn't find it in myself to say no to whatever, because if I say no to one thing at one point, then everyone will hate me and I'll never get booked again, is what your mind tells you. And I asked Cam James if he could host, and he just replied and said, oh, dude, I'm not hosting stuff at the moment, but I'd love to just do a spot if you have me. And that message like changed my life. I was like, fuck, what power does Cam have within him? This is the bravest thing I've ever heard.
Little do you know that Cameron went into the bathroom and cried.
He would have sat there
in the notes, getting it ready to go.
Exactly. Fingers just tingling before he sent the message.
And throw the phone across the room.
Yeah.
And then he messaged me, I think Luka hates me.
I feel like I've done it before where I've been like, oh, no, thanks, and then immediately walked back on it. Oh, just kidding, I actually can. Please don't. Yeah. Please don't forget about me.
And of course, the classic is like, oh, essentially a no worries if not. Of like, oh, I'd love to go on early at such and such gig, but if it doesn't work out, that's all good. I can just go whenever. When it's like, just say, can I go on early? And they'll just do it. It's fine.
Yeah, I sent a message the other day I was quite proud of, where someone's like, can you do this gig? And I go, I can only do it if I'm on first.
That's great.
I didn't want to go. And it wasn't any... To be honest, I just was flying in from Sydney, and then I wanted to go to dinner after. I just didn't feel like doing a gig. And I was like, if I can get it over with early, I'll do it. So I was like, I'll only go first. And they were like, absolutely. And then someone else asked to go first, and they were like, no.
The best is the person who's like, I need to go on first. And then you assume it's because they've got something to run to. And then they just stay at the gig, pounding those drink tickets, just getting absolutely battered. And you're like, I love this. Not even like I'm meeting people to get drunk somewhere else. Just I want to start drinking the free booze at the gig as quickly as possible.
On a line up with someone the other night who sent a message going, can I go late? And then everyone's like, oh yeah, they must have had another gig. And they did, but actually it was like, and then they wrote, no, I just want to be able to like sink piss when I get there to the second gig. So they were like, they had to do the other gig first so they wouldn't be like too drunk.
Oh, I see.
In the reverse, they just basically were openly in the message like, I just want to get real drunk at your gig.
Yeah, okay.
And it was like, oh, okay.
And how did Brett go? No one drinks anymore in comedy, so if you hear a story like this,
I reckon you could guess who it was if it wasn't Brett.
3 people could it possibly be? But you have reminded me...
It was just Kwani.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. You have reminded me, though, Luka. Yeah, I ran a gig, and then we got over it, and we handed it off to you. And I remember you saying it, but we handed over the passwords for all the accounts, and you were like, God, it is thrilling to get into that Facebook page and just see the gig requests that have just been left on red. I was like, yeah, I didn't really think about the digital footprint of my rudeness and lack of professionalism that I'm giving someone else access to here.
Can I ask, did you ever feel the guilt in the reverse where you didn't, like you were saying, like, you feel guilt when you say no, like you don't want to say no to anything. Did you ever feel the opposite where you just didn't answer people? Did you ever get guilt on that? Or did you feel like because you were on the higher up?
Oh, of course. And I mean, it's obviously very behind the curtain stuff, but this is the thing.
You have to.
The thing that sucks about running a gig and also doing comedy is that, like, inevitably there's someone who you don't really want on, then they start running a gig, and you're like, well, that'd actually be pretty nice to do. But I feel like I can't ask now. So you either have to have someone on who you think is not good, just for your own future endeavours, or you just have to go, oh, well, there's 4 gigs I can't really do because I guess there's just now this silent thing of like neither of us is crossing the border. It's brutal. I can do my own gig whenever I want, but guess what? I don't want to because I'm running the gig.
I'm fucking sick of it.
I'm rooted from doing the door. Luka, broadcasting to the youth every day. I had a real old man moment in Sydney. I got the train from Newcastle. There was a group of kids sitting near me. They would have been like 16. And then I got to Sydney, checked in, got onto the train to go meet my friend, and I was like, oh, that's weird. That's that same kid that was on the train from Newcastle. And then hung out with my friend, got the metro back into the city, and was like, holy shit, it's that kid again. And then realised, oh no, these are 3 different kids. That's just what every kid looks like now. The real like curly with the real broccoli hair.
Cut.
Yeah, I really did think. I was like, what are the odds of this? The same kid, 3 specific instances.
It is so lucky for you that wasn't the same kid, because by by the third sighting, it'd be like, this man is following me.
Who's following who? Yeah, I don't think I'm going to come off well here.
I definitely think they're going to believe the child.
He just happened to be on all 3 trains.
No, he's following me. That little boy's obsessed with me.
It was such like an old man moment to have in your head, the thought of like, they all just bloody look alike these days. You can't tell one from another.
It is true, because I do obviously a lot of work at music festivals. You see it then as well, because there's like sort of the go-to music festival uniform for a lot of people. It's like, wow, the haircut, the shirt, the shorts, even the shoes, it's all just locked in. Yeah.
I really felt like you guys would have both done like, in fact, I think I ran into you there once, Wardy, when we first came out of lockdown and we could have you could meet up in a park and that was it. And you went down to Edinburgh Gardens and it was just crazy.
It was insane.
And it was funny because it was like, what really struck me about it was, when do you ever have anything in life where you are just rubbing up against literally everyone? Like your group of people, then you have like young families with little kids, then you have like people who've just turned 18, and all these different like age brackets and demographics all forced into this one environment. Yeah. That never happens anywhere.
It's so true.
And the tolerance was high. Like, because normally you'd have a bunch of like, youths over here, like teenagers doing drugs and like being annoying, and the families with the little kids would be like, can you guys stop? But because we were all so desperate to be out, there was a lot of like, good on you. Yeah. Good on you, do your drugs.
We've all just gone through the exact same thing. That's the thing of like, if you're in public and people get a little tetchy, it's because like no one knows, you don't know what the early part of this person's day has been. Yeah, like you just have
They're just obstacles to you.
The kids haven't even been at school. The parents were probably like, learning moment. Look here, Billy, he's doing a bong.
Exactly. Yeah. But at those lockdown, it was like we all knew exactly what everyone else's last 18 months had been. It's like, yeah, you've all been inside watching Tiger King and making your sourdough and getting your wine delivered.
That's so true. I feel like that's quite a wise statement, that we had more in common than we had different at that point.
We really could have used it, and it's interestingly enough now, off the back of it, things feel more divided than ever. And there probably is something to be said for like the butterfly's wings effect of like that 2 years and kind of what that set off. But it was a moment to really be like, okay, this is the hard reset. Yeah. Everyone's now just going to have the exact same life experience for 2 years. And then we come out of that and everyone's rebooted and they've got like a renewed appreciation for their fellow man and the struggles that they're going through, and they've got a bit more empathy. And then that lasted like maybe a week. And it's just like, fucking what are you doing?
And then the resentment.
The resentment
kicked in so hard.
Bring it back.
I'm saying bring it back.
You got no one to talk to.
A little Lockie.
What's popping on your Netflix?
Sure, little
no
Lockie.
one to talk to K-pop demon hunters.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sure, little melody pop can't speak.
Exactly.
And stares through your soul when she looks at you.
Traumatized forever. Yeah. Luka, tell me about getting lost in Vietnam.
Oh my God, I was in Vietnam last year. You were there just recently?
I was.
Yeah. And you were there maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
I've been also.
It rules.
Beautiful place.
I had gone to... I couldn't even tell you the name of the town that I was in, but Quy Nhon was like the closest big town. I literally just did the thing where like I wanted to go somewhere quiet because I had a few like city stops.
Yep.
And I was like, I'll pick somewhere that's just far away from everywhere, a bit beachy, and that'll be my nice like sort of quiet stop. And I
are you good with, Wardy, you mentioned you're good with like directions and knowing where north is. On this most recent time I went to Vietnam, I noticed like you're telling people like, I'm going to Vietnam, and they're like, or like if they've not been, you're like, we're going here and here, and they're like, is that up sort of in the north?
Yeah,
and just being like, yeah. I'm not on the flight website booking it via a map. I'm putting in, I've heard this city's good. I have no fucking clue where I am in this country.
You still lay out a big old paper map and get out the pens. And you're like,
yeah, exactly. I'm not a cartographer. Is it near the border? Is the water a border? Because we're on the beach, so yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I'm good with it. Before you continue, can I say the thing about what hello means in Vietnam?
Yeah.
I was telling Luka yesterday, do you know that hello translates to, or like how are you, in Vietnam pretty much translates to have you eaten rice?
Ah, interesting.
Because if you say how are you and you're like, yes, I've eaten rice, it's like, well, you are good, but if you haven't eaten rice, you're probably not good.
You're not very good.
Yeah.
You're not going good. Haven't eaten today
fact.
yet. Oh, that's interesting.
So every time you see someone, you go, have you eaten rice? Crazy.
What if your life is falling apart, but you did have rice for breakfast?
Yeah, I think, well, that's a sign that sounds like Australian culture. I'd be like,
if it's,
have you had a beer?
Yes, I have.
If it's rice for breakfast, but that's all you're having, I would say for the entire day, maybe things aren't going well. It sort of depends.
But could be worse. Could have not had
Could
rice.
have not had. At least I can afford rice. Yeah, I'm not really. I mean, I'm not really walking around there speaking English at the people, and if I am, I'm generally just keeping it to like a hello or please or thank you. I got to say, I'm not really walking around in Vietnam saying to Vietnamese people in English, "How are you?" Which is maybe, but I would think if I was going to ask them that, I should be learning that in the language.
Well, that's very rude.
Yeah. No, but as it turns out, I wouldn't actually be even asking them, "How are you?" They'd be thinking,
You're just
well,
like, is this north?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, where are we? Are we near a border?
Oh, no. All right.
So I'm in the north or south or somewhere. No, actually I was quite central, but I fly into a place called Quy Nhon, and the town or little villagey type place that I'd looked to go to was right on the water, maybe about a 40-minute drive from there.
Yep.
And I'm like, that's fine. It'll be pretty accessible. There'll be cars and whatever. I can get a grab and shit. And so I get a grab from the airport to there. And as we're going, I'm like, fuck, it seems quite remote. Like it doesn't seem like very connected. Like it's a common thing to come and go out of this town. But I'm sure I'll figure it out. It'll be sweet. And also looking on the map, I'm like, oh, there's a few different beaches within like walking distance. I'm only there for 3 days. Worst case, I just walk, 5Ks to some beach. I'm happy to do that. So I get there and realize like it's very, very small and not very touristy. It's super nice, but it's not, it's not easy to get around and shit. And so on the third day, I'm like, oh, I'm going to walk to such and such beach that's say an hour walk away. It's hot as hell, but I'm happy to do it. I kind of like that. Nice long walk.
And had you eaten rice?
I had rice. I was
Okay,
doing
so
great. I was on top of the world.
Oh, a long walk. You need some rice in the belly. That's pure carb, baby.
And so I set off, and maybe only like 10 minutes into the walk or something, I'm not even that far out of this village, a guy pulls up next to me on a scooter and he's like, why are you walking? And in very broken English, he's like, why are you walking? And I'm like, oh, I'm just going to the beach. And he's like,
we got a philosopher on our hands. Oh, brother, why do any of us walk? To discover, to find myself.
Why am I not walking?
The real question is, what am I walking from? And what am I walking to?
And the real question is, why aren't you?
Why are you riding? And so I'm going to the beach. And he's like, come with me. He just seems, come with me, and pointing to his bike.
God.
And so I get out the Google Translate and go like Vietnamese to English, like, oh, I'm just going to the beach. I'm happy to walk. Thank you, but I'm happy to walk. And he insists.
Seeing someone pull out the Google Translate and they just type in, fuck off.
I bet you wish you had your vocal rest sticker on.
Hello. And so I show him that and he's insisting. He's like, no, get on. And I'm like, all right, fine, whatever. This will be fine. Worst case, he takes me to the beach.
Get me a scooter? You got a scooter?
There's a scooter.
Get on with this man.
And he was pretty
Worst
old.
case scenario, here comes a festival show, baby.
Exactly.
Ride me to that 5-star.
If you can make me remember something about my dad from childhood over the course of this ride for the end of the show, that'd really be wonderful.
That's when I realised my father never took a step in his life.
Yeah, showing him the Google Translate. Please say something resonant. Please say something meaningful to me. Please. I really need this. It's already fucking October. I need this show. But he seems friendly enough and he's pretty old. He's like 50, 60. So I'm like, whatever. I'll get on and he'll take me to the beach. And he almost immediately takes a turn that I wasn't going to take. And I'm like, oh, no, not this beach. And he
I thought you meant conversationally. What do you think of this race? Not where I would have gone with a complete stranger, but all right.
And I love that you're sitting behind him. I really want to visualize. You're behind him on this. You're holding on to this man.
I'm holding on.
Yeah, you're doing the clutch around
You're
there.
literally having to talk into his ear like, oh, not that beach. It's so funny. I've never seen you as like, you're kind of like a broad guy. You don't, and I'm just like the most feeble I've ever seen you holding on to this little Vietnamese man. He would have been half your size, I assume.
Oh, he was teeny tiny.
I was doing that once, like riding a motorbike around with someone who's like quite a broad man's man. And just them having to be like, now get on behind me and just kind of wrap your arms around me, being like, okay.
And you're going to do it. You don't want to fall off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're the boss, brother.
I had him wrapped up tight, real tight.
So sweet nothings into this man's ear.
And I'm like, oh, not this beach. I was going to a different one and I'm trying to show him while he's still riding. And he's like, no, this beach is better. I'm like, all right. And we then get to like a gate with 2 security guards at it and they won't let us through to whatever beach he's trying to go to. And it looks like it's just like construction construction of a resort or some shit on the other side. And I'm like, not here, not here. And then I'm trying to talk to them. They have slightly better English, but they can't really communicate with him. And I'm trying to show him. And he's like, no, don't go to that beach. Like, he keeps pointing at some other beach, which is way further away.
Hang on. They can't communicate with him? What's this third language that these guys are speaking? What are they
Great question.
talking Mandarin? What's going on?
You were north.
Yeah, but you're right. But that doesn't. I feel like that happens a bit when you'll be in. You're with someone and their English isn't very good, and then other people from the place that you're in enter the equation.
Yeah,
and they seem to not be. And you're like, what is going on? I thought I was sort of saved here.
Because he must think that they speak better English than him, but I don't think they did really. So I was just going through them to still have the same broken conversation.
You imagine that happening here. You riding a bike around and you got some little fella with you. He doesn't speak, and then you see other Australians, them just immediately being like, what's the deal with this little fella? Like you'd be off to the races.
Yeah.
But then just being like, hey, this is between you and them. I don't want to intrude.
Sort it out. And so I don't want him to. He keeps pointing to this other beach, but it's way further away. And I'm like, I can't just have this guy be my fucking driver for the day. He's just a random guy. Yeah. If I end up there, that's like a 3-hour walk back to where I'm from. I don't want to go there. So I'm just like, just take me back, or I can walk from here. It's fine. And this is all just happening through Google Translate now. We've given up on trying to have any broken English.
And are you at any point, this seems like, are you now thinking, what's in it for this guy?
Yes.
Why has he just decided, I'm going to take this stranger to a beach that, like, what is he getting at? At this point, my head's turning and I'm like, what's the scam? At what point are we going to pull up at the front of, some guy's shop? Or
I'd be so scared because I'd be like, the scam is I have to give him my body.
Yeah.
I'd be like, but I mean, probably different. Were you just scared about
I remember being a bit scared, but he did just have a pretty overwhelmingly wholesome aura. I was like, I do trust this guy, that this guy sort of just wants to take me to the beach, and that's fine, I guess. But when then there's security guards, I was like, fucking what's going on for sure.
15 years ago, I was in Bali and I went quad biking and got picked up.
Can I just say, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was sick. Well, it eventually was sick, but the lead up to it, I got picked up from the hotel. I'm the first person that gets in, and the guy keeps going, yeah, we're just going to pick up some more people from more hotels. And we get further and further out of the city, and then we're just in deep, middle of nowhere. My phone's stopped working. There's no sign of any hotels, and there's a half-hour period where I'm like, oh, I've gotten in the... I was convinced. I'm being kidnapped. I'm going to die. I was like... And then we ended up just getting to this very remote hotel and picking up people that were staying there. But there was a 5-minute window where I was like, I'm going to pull the door of the van open and I'm just going to run. Yeah. I don't know where I am, but I'm going to leg it out. It was the most convinced I've ever been that I'm about to die.
And it's very white touristy shit. But
exactly.
If it feels even remotely sketchy, your brain of course goes to oh, this is going to be on the news and they're going to have to fly my body back on a plane or something. I remember being in Malaysia once and I had to give a cash deposit to the hotel and I didn't have any cash. So I left my bags there and then went to an ATM that was a bit of a walk away and then got the cash. And on the walk back, was sort of on this weird boardwalk type thing right by the water, and these two guys were walking towards me and they had their faces completely covered with black t-shirts wrapped around their heads apart from their eyes, and every inch of their skin was covered with gloves and everything, and they were both holding whippersnippers and they had a machete tucked into their belt.
Oh, the whippersnipper attack.
Yeah.
And I was walking right up to them and then I walked past them.
God.
They didn't pay any attention to me when I walked past them, but then as I kept going, I took some wrong turn and ended up in a dead end. And then as I was sort of looking at my phone trying to get out of it, they turned around and were coming back towards me again. And I was so fucking scared.
Yeah, were you just
terrified.
Hang on. There's no long grass around here.
Well, yeah, they got
in the middle of the desert.
You're looking straight down at your feet. I can see everything.
Well, yeah, they got within 10 meters of me and then just turned and they were just landscapers cutting whatever shit. And they were their skin was all covered so that the stuff doesn't get in their eyes and everything. But of course you go, well, I'm going to get whippersnipped to death. I'm going to be the first ever whippersnipper murder.
You feel like the biggest piece of shit.
Yeah.
But in my defense with the Bali thing, the day before I'd been getting a massage and they'd taken money out of my wallet. They'd robbed me while I was in there. So I think I was kind of a little bit mentally on edge of okay, you got to be a little more you'd be a little more alert in this country, and then just really.
The same thing happened to me in New York. It was the first time I'd gone overseas by myself. I flew in. I straight away, I mean, this is 10 years ago now. Straight away fell for the fake taxi guy.
Oh yeah, great.
Straight away.
At the airport.
Yeah, at the airport, straight away.
Right. And you had to film a porno on the way from the airport. That sucks.
This guy said he was delivering a pizza. There's nothing in the box. Well, there was something in the box.
Something.
Like a skin flute special.
Thankfully, I had just eaten rice, so it was okay.
Talk about a stuffed crust. Good Lord.
So this man comes up, black coat, looking very profesh.
Yeah.
Looks like a limo driver. He's like, do you need a taxi? I'm like, I do need a taxi.
Yeah. How'd you know?
Yeah. So I follow him. We're going to the taxi line. I was like, this is it. This is where his car's going to be. But we walk straight past it. Of course we do. And we go into the general car park. Now, that's when I start to feel the feeling you were just talking about. That feeling of unease where you're like, something's not right. Something is not right. So he opens the boot. He starts putting my stuff in. And I was like, wait, what's going on? And he goes, just hurry. We've got to get out. We've got to go now. And I was like, what? What do you mean hurry? I don't think I want to do this. Who are you? I realize it's just a plain black car. There's no taxi sign on it. He's like, quick, we have to go. And I'm like, no, I don't want to. And he's like, oh, he just closes the boot with my bags in it, gets in and drives off. And I'm just standing there. I've put my laptop.
He's got your shit.
He's gone. And my laptop is in there. I'm 19 years old.
Oh my God.
Or whatever. And I've never been overseas. And I just start I'm shaking. I start to cry and I'm like, fuck. And so I just go over and there's like a weird pickup zone and there's a cop there. So I go off and I'm like, excuse me, someone just stole my stuff.
I thought I was going to be in a porno.
So American. And so can I just check, are you a real cop or like a sexy cop?
Those shorts are pretty
yanking in his pants.
It was actually a lady cop.
Oh,
it was a lady cop.
Yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah.
She just in the most American cop stereotype.
Right, yeah.
Nothing. Wow. Doesn't even answer me. Is looking at me, looks past me, and I'm like, excuse me, I just said this.
They would be like, you got to be kidding. You fucking fell for that one. Are you serious?
Yeah, nothing. Just it's so weird when you're so desperate and someone looks at you and just blank, never responded to me.
It's like the internet scams where you just think like, are people still doing like the guys at the airport, the fake taxi guys. You just think like, we all know by now, but it just goes to show there's always wouldn't keep doing it if there wasn't someone. And this was
a while ago now. Anyway, so I just sit down and I'm like, I can't even remember what I had on me. I think I might have had my passport, which is good. Not even sure I had my phone. I cannot remember, but I was not in a great place.
Yep.
I'd lost the money was in the car. Anyway, so I just sit here like this and I just start trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I'm just out of my mind.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the car comes back and he's like, beep, beep, beep. And I look up and he goes, sorry, you get yo man, you get fined if you stay. So are you coming or not? And then I was like, well, I guess I'm getting in because he had sort of he could have still abducted me, but I was like, it felt trustworthy. He had decided to come back.
Yeah.
So I get in and then it probably actually only cost me $10 more to go with him in the end. And he gave me a great tour.
He'd looked through your stuff and gone, nothing in here is that valuable. A MacBook Air. So if I get her in, I can traffic her and get some actual money.
Yeah. And so it was in the end all fine, but it was one of the most eye-opening experiences of my life. I was like, did you just give that man all your stuff and let him leave?
And then you have you go the opposite way where you do get an act of just actual kindness and you're so on edge the whole time of just what's the I had someone walk me through a train station in Japan and I was really no, I got it. And it just really reeked of we're going to get to the end of this and there's going to be something of hey, I just gave you a tour. You got to pay whatever. You just feel you're...
And this guy didn't communicate well. I remember that, him just leaving. But at the end of the day, he is a scammer. So, of course, it's he's not going to communicate that well. He just wants... But the scam was fine. He just didn't have to line up in the taxi rank. That was pretty much it. The scam, that's so I was like, whatever. It was all fine in the end. And then I get to the apartment where my brother is and he's just I told him and he goes, oh, yeah, I was going to message you and say, don't do that. And I was like, great, thanks
for the heads up.
Yeah.
My parents 8 years ago they got they're we got scammed. We're in Thailand and we got this letter in the mail now and we're really worried. And I'm like, but how did this happen? And they're like, oh, we went to a meeting about this timeshare accommodation, and they said it was going to be a certain amount, but now, and we gave a deposit, and now they're upping the amount and everything, and we're really worried. And I was like, how did you end up in this timeshare meeting? And they're like, well, we were walking down the street and this guy just pulled up next to us on a motorbike and was like, do you want to come to this meeting? There's free coffee. And I was like,
they're like, free
oh
coffee.
My God. You know, that happens to you and you're like, who falls for this? And then it's like, oh yeah, the boomers. That's who.
They're very vulnerable. They're like, no one, they've had everything given to them their entire life.
Exactly.
They're like, of course they fall for it. They're like,
right.
Yeah, another free accommodation.
There's no
we'll
like,
take it.
Yeah. If it seems too good to be true, that's great.
Because it's always been too good to be true.
Yeah, because it's always been too good, and it is true.
You know what? We got a house for the same price, and we never got a free coffee last time. So then,
what are the young generation complaining about? When we bought our house for $2,000, we didn't even get Monte Carlos, and now they're wheeling out the Tim Tams, they're wheeling out some fruit. So anyway, you're interacting with the security guards.
Yeah, so we've been turned away from these security guards. Me and the guy communicating just through Google Translate, and I'm just going, just take me home or I can walk home, it's fine. And he goes, no, you got to go to such and such beach. And I'm going, it's fine, don't worry about it. And he goes, where are you from? And I go, Australia. He goes, my son lives in Australia, let me call him. And so he calls his son and puts his son on the phone. And
wait, is this a security guard?
No, this is the bike.
The bike man.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, his son lives in Australia. That's why he liked you. He was like, you remind me of my son.
Son lives in Australia. Son also doesn't speak very good English.
Incredible. Yeah, like what time? Yeah, what is this, like mid-afternoon? This kid's just like at fucking time zone. He's like, oh, what's dad want?
Dad's picked up a boy again.
And so son speaks a bit better English, but not that much better. And he's like, what's going on? What's happening with my dad? And I'm like, I was going to the beach. He's trying to give me a lift, but it's fine. Like, tell him he doesn't have to and I can walk home. And he goes, my dad, like, he does stuff like this all the time. Like, he won't let you, you have to let him take you to the beach, basically.
Why do you think I left the country? He flew the plane to get me to Australia.
He's like, I needed an education. Every morning I'm like, take me to the school. He's like, the beach it is.
And so the son's like, all right, just let him take you to the beach he's trying to take you to. And I'll tell him to give you his number and like, you'll feel bad about doing this, but genuinely just call him when you're done at the beach and he'll come and pick you up from there or whatever.
Right, okay.
And so we do that and he keeps driving me fucking far, way further than I want to go. And I talk to the son on the phone the whole time because I'm sort of scared of getting off the phone with him in case there's another miscommunication thing and I need this boy. So I just like make small talk with this guy. I'm like, where in Sydney do you live? He's like, I'm in Burwood. I'm like, I'm in Lewisham. It's pretty close.
You ever listen to Triple J?
Yeah. I'm like, what do you
Look,
do?
for helping me out, free requests for the rest of the year. Anytime you call in, we're putting your song straight on the air. You can request anything. Anything.
And he's a student. He's over there studying engineering, blah, 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 all this stuff. And so then we get to another fucking gate with another 2 security guards. I'm like, I can't be going into these places with security guards. Take me to a public beach, please.
The amount that a relaxing holiday can very quickly pivot into the most stressed you've ever been in your life, even at home, is incredible. Just getting like a text from the airline that's like, this is going on with the flight and it means you're going to miss the connecting flight. And then you're like, I'm meant to be here unwinding. I would rather just be at home at work.
It's crazy. It's crazy too because we live in a country of like, NIMBYs and it's like I've never seen that many locked gates ever. Just 2 and 1 like, the gates are all open here.
Yeah.
It's so weird to be like 2 locked gates in a row.
You got to be paying to get onto these beaches, I suppose.
Guess.
Yeah.
And so I'm like to the son, I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? Tell him not to worry about this. I can't pay to go to this private beach or this resort or whatever the fuck it is. And so then I tell that to the son and then give the phone back to the dad. And the dad like doesn't even talk to the son. He just holds the phone and walks over to the security guards and pretty immediately starts having like a heated argument with them. And it's clear that they don't want him to let me in there and to take me in there on his fucking bike. And then they're going back and forth.
This is the best boy I've ever met in my life. He held on to me.
He needs to go to the beach.
This is my new son.
This is his Make-A-Wish.
Yeah, the kid gets on the phone. He's like, Dad says you're my brother now or something. What's going on?
And so they're arguing for a while and then he gives them money and then comes back and talks to the son for a bit. And the son tells me like, oh, my dad's not allowed to take you any further than this, but these guys will take you from the gate up to the resort bit and then you can go to the beach from there. And I'm like, how much did he pay? I'll at least pay him back and some for the ride and everything like that. And he's like, no, my dad says don't worry about it. Like,
can I ask, what's the time elapsed at this point from initial pickup with this man to here?
My favourite part about these stories, because it's always like 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's either like 2 minutes or it's like 8 hours. Like I don't know what kind of
an hour and a half, something like that.
That's
so
long. That's long.
I'd be so tired.
Yeah.
Emotionally exhausted.
Especially considering you've left the little tote bag, little fucking Sally Rooney book in there. Got the AirPods there. Got a few podcasts queued up.
You'd be ready
to kick back.
Ready to go home. You wouldn't be. I wouldn't be able to relax on the beach. I'd be full of adrenaline. Just like shaking on the beach.
I'd be thinking, how the fuck am I going to get back?
Yes, 100%. And so the son tells me, like, again, just call him. This is his number. Just call him when you need to go, and you'll figure it out. And so then I say goodbye to the guy. He refuses any money I try to give him, and then get in with these 2 security guards. And I can tell that they're fucking furious to have me, and that they're a bit like, why are we even going along with this? We shouldn't have to drive this cunt from just the street up into the resort part.
Yeah.
But they do it. They take me up there, and there's like sort of a little, maybe like 4 other staff up at this, like, I don't know, like a midpoint. It's not the resort, but there's like a little cafe there, and then there's a bus that another bus that you have to get to the resort. You're getting
like the full motorcade down to the beach.
Yes, legit.
These guys pull up, the Pope mobile's waiting there. This is Australia's most precious young man. We need to make sure he gets his R&R by any means necessary.
And this boy, he only walks. We must look after him.
This is like... Just very quickly, Monday I was in Sydney and I had to go to a meeting in Manly, and I got train, then boat, then boat back, then light rail, then train to the airport, then plane, then car from the airport. Wow. And I really was getting into like...
What's missing? Not much.
Yeah, I was like, I need a line bike in there somewhere. I need a scooter and a line bike. Like really getting into the idea that like... I've been on pretty much every form of trip. Is there a cable car somewhere?
Is there a funicular?
Shame they got rid of that monorail.
Yeah. It feels good when you're really like, man, I'm seeing it all. I'm really going like planes, trains, and automobiles.
It's an engineering feat.
Yeah.
Going from point A to point B in as many ways as possible today. This has got to be a fucking Guinness record, surely.
Yeah.
And so this little midpoint, the staff that are there are confused as hell to see me, and I realise it must be a thing where people rock up in groups, like in buses, and then they get dropped off there and then take another bus down to the thing.
Right.
They're like, why is there one guy? And they talk to the security guards, and they must negotiate for me to then get taken to the beach. They finally take me down to the beach where there's no other punters. It's just me and like another 2 staff in a bar. And it's the weirdest like resort beach. There's like an empty sort of SeaWorld type situation. Like there's like a pool that at some point had a dolphin or some shit in it, but is now just empty, and a bunch of empty grandstands around it.
There's so many things overseas that you turn up to that seem so complicated, and you kind of go like... Is it just that is there anything like this at home that's this complicated, but like I find it easy because I speak, is it this hard to get into the NGV if you don't speak English? Like,
it actually is. It actually is. You do know it actually is. I mean, even when you go to another city and you're like, where more?
A tourist at the front of Acme being like, how the fuck do you get in and watch a movie, for God's sake?
The trams though, I had to help a girl in the city the other day. She's like, which tram goes like which direction's going to Docklands? You know me, I was like, South Baby. Like, no.
Yeah.
But like I know it. But like it is that complicated for them. They're like, how do you do anything?
It does. You do just invent this thing when you're in another country and you're finding it that hard, where you're like, this goes beyond the language barrier.
Imagine calling.
There's 4 extra steps. It'll be like, no, to get the ticket you go over there, then you come back here to get the ticket to get you in. It's like
imagine Collingwood Yards. They come in and be like, where's the yard? Where's the yard? Like they'd be looking everywhere for it. They're like, where is the space? You're in it. No, where's the grass? There is no grass.
Hope Street. There's no street called that. What's going on?
Where's the radio?
Yeah, we do in this city. We have a lot of like Fitzroy Gardens is not in Fitzroy, Carlton Gardens is not in Carlton. So I guess that's our equivalent. Yeah, that's what we're doing to make these fucking foreigners just sweat.
Why did this man think that this was the one to go to? You know what I mean? Like I bet he's never even been there. He's just heard it was good back 20 years ago.
To be fair,
little fella.
Other than the sort of weird abandoned SeaWorld thing, it was an incredible beach. And it was awesome to be there by myself. It was wild to just have the whole thing to myself.
Sure.
So I swim a bit, chill out a bit, But the whole time, of course, all I can think about is like, how the fuck am I going to get home? What the fuck is going to happen? Don't even believe that I'll be able to get back up to the midpoint bus thing. How the fuck am I going to do this?
Yeah.
And so
I'll swim around the coast back to
legit.
the original beach, and I know I can walk from there.
A boat did come up, and I did think, because it was it was only just around the cove to get back to the town I was actually staying in, where I'd gone on this long inland journey, but you could just go like that. And I was like, maybe that's the easiest way. Just talk to these fuckers on the boat and be like, get me around there.
This is like, you know, those stories of people that go missing off cruises, and it's like, well, where did they go? And it's like, did they get human trafficked? Did they kill themselves by jumping overboard? And it's like, probably the truth is like far stranger than anything we could comprehend.
Yeah,
it's
they just didn't want to get back on the scooter with that man, so they tried to walk around a cliff and they fell off. Like, that's it.
I don't know that I'd call it abducted. I got off to, you know, get a souvenir, and then a very nice, helpful man said he knew a better souvenir shop, and he was trying to help me, but then I didn't know where I was anymore.
Yeah, and imagine your last words that you ever speak are to some random guy's son who lives in Sydney. That was it.
He would be watching on the news. Nice. Do you think that he would see
he'd recognize.
He would see that you're a missing person. They'd be, you know, there's enough like footage and audio of you. They're playing clips, and he'd be like, that voice sounds really familiar. I think my dad killed that young man.
He's thinking about all the times the dad's called, how many boys there were, the realization's coming that his dad's a serial killer.
Exactly. And his dad's going to say like, no, I got him to that abandoned beach and then the security guards took him. But there's always going to be that lingering doubt for the son. He's never going to know for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
So have an all right time at the beach. Managed to get myself, a bus back up to the sort of midpoint bit. Mm-hmm. The people up there fucking hate me. I can tell that they despise me. I'm trying to figure out a way to get back to the security checkpoint gate where I'd been driven from after the old man dropped me off. We're back and forthing about that for ages. A lot of Google Translate. After about half an hour, they're like, all right, we'll just drive you down there. That's fine.
What else were you doing? It's like half an hour. Stand around. It's like, fucking just take me. So annoying. They're like just sitting around, like, you know, it's a lot, you know.
Anytime you realise like you're somewhere where you love and you just by your presence or having to ask a question, you are making the locals go, oh, these fucking tourists.
Oh, yeah.
You just really feel so bad when they hear the accent.
Yeah, and this wasn't
like,
a tourist town, so they're like, no. I'm here because I don't want to be near you.
Yeah, and I figured maybe that played into why the guy was so into it. He was like, oh, we never have white tourists around here. Let's fucking show him a big day out. This is crazy. And so, get back down to the security checkpoint. Thank God. I do, before I try to get back in touch with the father and son, I'm like, maybe I'll just ask these guys if there's another way. Is there a taxi? Is there something I can do?
Sure.
And they're like, there's like sort of one taxi in this area. We can call him if you really need to.
Let me guess who's the taxi driver.
But they're like, he'll be he'll be at least an hour. And I'm like, all right, fuck, I'll try this father and son duo. So I go to call the number I have for the father. Doesn't go through.
Great.
I know if the son's given it to me wrong or if I've written it down wrong, it just doesn't even ring. It's not a phone number. It just doesn't connect. It's like, all right, I'll call the son, I guess. I feel terrible about it.
I'll call the consulate. Wait, you had the son's number as well?
I got the son's number as well.
Okay, great.
Because the son was like, I'll give you my number too, and in case he can't get onto my dad, call me and they can call my dad.
Okay, this has for sure happened before.
Yeah.
The son has like a whole game plan ready to go.
The son told me like, he does shit like this all the time.
He's already called his mum too to be like, Mum, he's done it again. I'll give you this fella's number.
And the cycle of like this poor fella, he gets no study done. He's failing in all his classes because he's constantly tech support for his dad's endeavours. And then the dad's getting mad like, we didn't send you out to Australia to get an education for you to just flunk all these subjects. It's like, well, stop fucking calling me every time you pick up some strange man.
Making me work at a fucking taxi depot. This shit sucks. Call the son. No answer from the son.
Great.
Fuck me. And so I'm like, try the dad number again, doesn't go through. Try the son number again, doesn't pick up. And eventually I just have to go back to the security guards and be like, can you call me that taxi? And then I have to wait an hour for the taxi to come.
We do need something slightly below the consulate, I reckon. I reckon there's got to be an international traveller like, hey, it's not an emergency. I haven't lost my passport or anything, but I just don't know where I am, and no one is helping me.
I've been very foolish. I've ended up very far away. Too far to walk.
We need like the mid-consulate.
My friend had an issue getting a Vietnamese visa, and she did post on Facebook Marketplace, need help with a visa. And a Vietnamese girl was like, pay me $30 and I'll call them. Yeah. So she was basically, but that was once again not an official service, but that goes to show there was a need. We need that girl to just run a business.
Just someone that you can call that's in that country with your accent where you're like, man, I'm really struggling to find a coffee. Where do I go?
Yeah, totally.
Just I don't want to bother the official government channels with this, but just like, can you help me out?
Yeah.
Bring back the information booth.
Bring back the
That's
information
what we're saying.
booth. Exactly.
We need the
You know, it would get abused though. They'd get too many calls of people going, "Banh mi, good or no?" Like,
where are the chicks? Hey, I got charged $19.90 for when my lemon chicken, which they said they didn't even make at first, but then they made it. Is that a rip-off? Like
they say they love you, and then they give you the bill. What the fuck's going on there?
So yeah, eventually get long-ass taxi ride that I pay way too much money for back to the small town and just go, I should have just gone to the beach that's 20 metres from my fucking front door. This is fine.
And did you ever get a follow-up from the guy or the son?
Never
from either of them.
No.
Incredible.
Do still have both their numbers in my phone.
Oh my
I do
God.
often think I should try to find that son.
For sure. Well, that's the end of the show.
Yeah,
you
true.
have this long lost phone call and you find out that
you know where he lives.
I do.
You know the suburb.
Yeah. You find out that the dad, I don't know. What happened to him that day?
He got killed by a less friendly tourist than me after offering them a lift.
He died of a broken heart after you got off that bike. He just missed you so much.
He rocked up at one too many security guarded beaches so they couldn't take it anymore.
He went, I've just had the best passenger I'm ever going to have. And then he drove that bike into the ocean.
And he definitely drove it into the beach 20 minutes from your apartment as well.
Luka Mullер and Alex Ward there. What a treat. And yes, get onto patreon.com/howtodoeverything to get ready for a bonus episode with them that'll be dropping in a couple of days' time. And you get the entire back catalogue of all of the bonus episodes of this show. As I mentioned up the top, if you're in Queensland this weekend, Saturday in Brisbane, Sunday in Cairns, get onto the ticketing links for those two shows. Get along. Would love to see you there. Figuring out some new material. Got some good stuff to chat about. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing people up there in beautiful Queensland. Other than that, we're on Instagram at How to Do Everything Podcast. Send me a message on there if you enjoy the show. Always love hearing from people. Get onto your podcast app of choice. Leave a review if you like what you're hearing. That is all that I need to rabbit on to you about. Thank you once again for listening, and I'll see you next time for more How to Do Everything. Bye.